Well, it's getting to be spooky time here. So, what's your favorite scary movie? I thought about saying that like the Scream guy, but decided I didn't want to.
That's a good one. Is it going to be spooky time when this episode releases?
It will. Like, these episodes will start hitting in October, and it's honestly like a total mistake, but very well timed that Constantine is involved, and it's spooky month.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. But yeah, you said Halloween movie?
Like I said scary movie, but Halloween movies can work.
Oh,
if people
scary
just have
movie.
preferred,
Movie that could qualify for Halloween.
They're all stupid.
Whoa!
Like all movies?
I'm personally offended.
This thing always happens, especially for questions for this podcast. Like, when someone asks a question, all the answers just leave my mind.
Disappear.
That's why you
Yeah.
stick with it and lie. Like
All
you're just
right.
like, oh,
Well, I
this one, I
hate
guess.
that. I want to portray myself genuinely.
So I feel like if we're going with scary movies, well, scary, thrilling, When a Stranger Calls
Okay.
is a great scary movie, and I
one's
like don't normally watch movies multiple times. That movie I've watched at least like 4 to 5 times.
Oh, I haven't actually seen it, but I've heard it's pretty good.
It's a pretty good.
that
It's pretty good psychological. Like, it's not until the very end, towards the end, that it gets kind of like action going.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't want to give away too much if somebody's gonna see
It's
it.
like a horror thriller kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's one of those that's like psychological for a while and then realize, oh wait, it's actually happening type thing.
Is that the one where like a creepy person keeps calling on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have
And she's
seen it.
like-
It's actually been a while, but I think of that movie a lot lately.
Oh yeah, as soon as you're like alone in a house by yourself, you're like, crap.
Yeah. Like babysitting or something.
Yeah, and then the phone rings and you're like, I'm not picking that up.
Yeah. Which is fair, I feel like.
Yeah, it ain't my house.
Do we have to do a movie? Since I don't watch enough movies.
Do we have to do?
It just has to be spooky and it has to be watchable. So I guess
Yeah,
you could do like a
that's
show.
Can you watch a podcast?
Wait, are you gonna say a podcast episode?
I was thinking about a podcast. I was thinking about shows. It's more likely that I think of a show or a podcast that
I mean, you can be deep cut guy if you want to.
You've never seen a
I guess.
scary movie.
I definitely have. I just am having that thing that Chris described of all the
How do I
thoughts
think
going out of my head.
There's so many different.
Honestly,
It's hard. It's a question. It makes you think.
Eileen,
Yeah.
I already have an
Eileen-
answer, but I've always had an answer to this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I know your answer, but I don't
honestly,
I have two
don't-
answers actually.
I don't really care about the traditional Halloween movies and things that are like, quote unquote, scary. Yeah, if I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna go for something legitimately scary, maybe psychological, like something by Stephen King. Maybe I don't know. Let's go with that. I know. I'll offhandedly say Pet Sematary, not because I liked it, just because it was one of the first ones I ever watched, and I talk about it a lot.
I mean, it's a good one, and it's definitely a horror movie.
I love Pet Sematary.
I remember when I was in the movie theater and the previews came on for the remake, and I didn't know this was coming. All I know is I saw this truck driving down the highway, and I was like, no! No, I know what this is! Stop it! I just yelled in the theater, and everybody was staring at me. You cannot do this to me!
That's a legitimate reaction.
I love it.
Yeah, no, supposedly Stephen King didn't originally even want that to be published because he thought it was too bleak. So, like, it's pretty good spooky stuff.
Oh, it's really great, because I keep trying to force my sister's husband to watch it. He's kind of a paranoid and very protective guy. And we happen to live on a street that has trucks and cars just coming over the hill at high speeds all the time.
So you're trying to traumatize this man, is what you're saying.
Oh, yes. I want him to have nightmares.
What the heck?
Because he will. Oh, it'll push exactly his buttons.
So my favorite horror movie is The Ring. But I
Mm.
have a second answer, which is my
Nice.
favorite sci-fi horror, which is War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
That was a good movie.
It's
That is good.
It has some really good visual scenes, and The Ring too. The Ring has some moments that are like there's a scene where a horse jumps off the back of a boat, and like, kind of a spoiler, but it jumps off the back of a boat and ends up like dying in the propeller basically and bleeding
Oh
out.
my.
And it's this really uncomfortable scene that like you're like, why did the horse do that?
Why don't I remember that?
It might be in the second one, but regardless, it's really good.
I think that's in the first one. Yeah,
I
I
can
don't
never
know.
remember which one because I like both of them, honestly.
Now it's down to people who absolutely don't know their answers, of which I'm one of them.
Do you not know?
No, I have no idea.
Can we just say Zombieland or something?
I love Zombieland.
It's not my
I
favorite.
own it.
It's not even in the. There's probably like a tier of my favorites, and it's not in there.
What a bastard.
Such a good
You don't like
movie.
Zombieland, or you just don't
It's
love
not that scary though, you know.
No, it's
Well,
not
it
at
doesn't-
all.
Well,
It's
okay,
super
I need to
Halloween,
clarify. Almost no horror movie scares me, but I enjoy them because they're just like because they're spooky and because they like depict absolutely devastating like occurrences, and it's weirdly cathartic for it's weirdly cathartic for me as an anxious person.
I get spooked by horror movies, but like not super scared. I like being scared. That's the weird thing. So like I try to go out of my way to get scared by a movie.
So for the sake of that, I could say a lot of answers, but I think I'm gonna go with Final Destination.
Good choice.
That's one of the movies I don't like.
I'm gonna say that because all of them are the horror movies I've probably watched the most times.
They're so over the top and
That's what's fun
gory.
about them. You're walking down the street and you're just like, whoa, what if something terrible happened to me? And
Yeah.
it's
It just feels like someone has anxiety and they turned it into a movie.
no, but it's
Yeah,
comforting. Yeah, sorry, what were you gonna say, Joey?
Oh, I was just gonna say I have a vivid memory of a non-vivid moment, which was when I was at your house and we were watching I think we watched through all of them in like a day or two.
Yeah.
And like of watching all the Final Destination movies and just me feeling high watching all those movies because it was such a like it's so shocking the first movie, and then as you get to the later movies you're just like you're so desensitized to everything. You're like you disassociate.
Well, you probably experienced a little bit of what it's like to like be me.
Oh.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to look for something that can make you feel something.
Well, no, see, it's kind of like I forget which Roman emperor it was who had a hired servant who would daily whisper into his ear, "Memento mori," remember you are mortal. And there's
you trouble me.
And there's something comforting about that because you get all tangled up in all of your worries and all of your stresses, and you're like, you know what? Everybody's eventually going to get hit by logs on a log.
Yeah.
Krista, I really think you should wake up every morning and whisper that to Paul. I really do.
Memento mori.
Memento mori.
It becomes like a really like sweet nostalgic thing.
Honestly, low key, kind of a spousal duty.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, he already thinks he's some immortal lich god already, so I'm just like, oh, human, calm down.
No, that's Jesus. And we are all his phylactery. It is the most perfect lichdom ever. His spirit lives inside of us. And as long as we're alive, he can't. Okay, this gets weird fast.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Right.
Okay.
Ryan, how about you?
Ryan
Or
already
Krista?
went.
He already answered. He was the first.
I was
you
the
already
first
went.
one for once.
Okay,
I never
okay.
go first. That's why he's not thinking it.
So I was thinking. I'm thinking really hard. I feel like my favorite slasher character is Jason, but I can't really like pick a favorite because they just all kind of blend together, and I don't really care.
Yeah, that's fair.
Horror movies that like I think are legitimately like creepy and scary that I really enjoy. I really like Babadook.
What's a
and
Babadook?
It's a good one.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
And Insidious is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like Sixth Sense. I'm trying to decide like which one of those three I like the most. I don't know. Probably Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
I mean that was kind of just like it kind of stuck out. It was one of the first like it didn't really scare me when I saw it, but like it kind of stuck out to me because like I didn't know the twist because like
I didn't either.
I for some reason had not been spoiled of it. I guess because like my parents don't really watch horror movies or like I don't know. But I just thought the plot was really cool and it was like really intriguing.
You know what I've been wanting to watch for a long time? If anybody has a good review, Boo, a Medea Halloween. Dude, Medea movies rock. I'm sorry. If you've never seen one, you need to try them. But I have not yet seen the Medea Halloween special.
I have seen Ernest Scared Stupid though.
Ah.
If that qualifies for anything.
They're not exactly the same, but I think the characters are pretty similar.
And of course, I feel like I'm like forgetting some like very niche like movie that I saw a long time ago that I thought was really good and I can't like remember it. I don't know. We've seen a lot of horror movies lately and a lot of them have been really good.
The Mothman Curse. We found this DVD in a used like DVD
I think it
store.
was actually cursed.
And it legitimately feels like a movie that like somebody like in a college just like made, and it's really badly edited in black and white and you can't hear anything. And we've never finished it because like we were laughing at it, but like we were laughing the whole time we were watching it.
It's so poorly made.
But
I can't even hear what they're saying.
But we also got this increasingly unsettling feeling, and we never finished it.
So I found a movie. I was at a convention in Houston recently, and someone, as like a frankly kind of smart like marketing ploy, like they just put their movie around, and like in some cases like as a DVD and in the park, like outside the convention center, and like in some cases they like put like weird pictures next to it, and it's called, I think it's called The Wet Ones, and on the back there's like there's this warning on the back about do not watch this movie or you'll go insane and all this stuff.
Ooh.
And the only reason I haven't watched it yet is because I do not have a DVD player.
What if you find out that everybody else who watched it died?
That'd be amazing.
The wet
the wet ones. So since we're doing movies, I will limit myself to a movie. I have this problem where, well, when I'm trying to remember things like this, I just do not. And I only remember recent stuff. Like, for instance, at one point recently, like my friends were like, "Have you seen Hot Rod?" And I was like, "No." And then we started the movie, and I was like, "Wait, I have seen this." And then we watched Napoleon Dynamite instead. But
Shit.
yeah, good. But so for me, there's a movie called Last Night in Soho that has some good creepy psychological stuff. And I don't really want to like talk too much about the creepy aspect of it because it's kind of a spoiler, but it reminded me of like, I liked it, and the only way that I can describe like why I liked it is because it reminded me of like anime movies like Perfect Blue or Paprika.
Oh, it's Edgar Wright.
But
yeah, Edgar Wright did that. He Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver.
Yeah, but it's good.
Makes sense. He's very stylistic in his direction.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's me.
Oh, hey, I forgot. I need to plug. I perform in a lot of movies that you all need to watch, including And Then There Was Blood, which is like And Then There Was None by Agatha Christie, only with werewolves. We also have a movie called Ripple Clowns in the Water. It's about me and this my wife in the movie are getting in trouble with the mafia, and then clowns come out of the ocean and attack us. It's really
Okay.
cool. You
Very
can watch
good.
it. Queen Dracula, I'm only in it for a little bit, but you know,
You
it's
play
me.
Queen Dracula?
I'm the best part, except she's kind of attractive, so she's the other best part. Yeah, let's see. Gosh, I'm just in so many good horror movies.
Yeah.
Those you can all find on Vimeo, by the way, under
Okay.
Saint Studios Films.
Nice. I should probably actually watch one of the movies.
Yeah, I want to watch them sometime.
Some are better than others. We just did Chimp, where I was a chimp from outer space.
You were a chimp from outer space.
Yes, it was filmed in the hills of Arkansas.
Were you wearing a chimp suit?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Was it uncomfortable? Yes. What is the dubs? Are the dubs really, really bad over me wiggling my mouth hole? Yes.
The word mouthful. Never use it again.
Sounds like Robot Monster.
Wow, that's great. I'm tempted to find those movies, and I've been wanting to plan a Halloween party at my house and have like something playing in the background while it's going on. Now I want to play your weird
Please
movies.
just do that. Just yes.
Okay. Well, with that all done, I think it's time to start this episode of Teen Titans Roll. Last time, so this is the scene. You guys all have risen to your feet, having just experienced these traumatic memories of your most anxiety-filled and traumatic moments. And then this John Constantine, he stood up, and the last thing he said was he asked Raven to close the door for him. And without even thinking about it, Raven reached over and closed the door. And you guys are now standing there in this group, faced off against this individual. I'm sure with your own feelings about what you've just been subjected to. And this man has a very serious, stern expression on his face. But then it completely like cracks. And he kind of like chuckles a little bit. And he's like, if you blokes could see the look on your faces.
What the hell are you laughing at?
Beast Boy starts crying.
Look at him! Look at the green guy! You made him cry!
He's like,
What? I'm not crying. I'm not crying. I'm fine.
he's like, and then he goes, well, this is probably very out of character, but I am absolutely plastered right now. And then he goes, chase me. And he runs into a hallway.
Son of a bitch!
What?
Damn it, we're gonna get our Mad Mod Scooby-Doo chase.
I was like, does this make sense? And then I was like, alcohol.
Yes.
So he
Oh,
has
I was
just
hoping for that.
he has just run down a hallway that quickly darkens and like out of sight. Are you guys pursuing him down the hallway?
Yeah.
Guess who
Definitely.
has... everybody split up and conquer.
Oh my god.
That sounds like a great idea.
Edwina is with us.
and then another supreme sorcerer from another universe showed up and said, hey, time to Scooby-Doo this shit.
Yeah.
Strange.
Is Edwina gonna chase with us, or is she's still like traumatized in like the door?
She gets up to her feet. She will run like after you guys at the back of the pack. She'll always be lagging behind because you guys all have like ways to enhance your speed.
I'm gonna pick her up and put her on my back.
Okay.
Okay.
The mission was for Edwina to have an adventure, so
So
Yeah.
Guys,
I think it's time for me to move invisibly. So also I have boots of elven kind, so I make no sound.
All right.
So I press a few buttons and I go invisible. Let's hunt.
Okay. So are you guys are running down the hallway that he ran down?
yes,
Yeah.
I would like to posit that I should be faster than him.
Oh, yes, but
He's got
again,
magic.
like magic. Magic, so fuck you.
Well, okay, fuck you. How fast is he going?
I mean, it's always like, so you go fast and it's like, I mean, it's like the stuff that was happening outside except weird and more wonky. Like he'll like go through a doorway and you'll go through a doorway and then you'll be in like a weird painting world, you know, with the stairs that go in all different weird directions. Like a bunch of the gags from Mad Mod are replayed here, but it's like, but the aesthetic is different, you know.
Like a spooky, scary skeleton.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's more like Scooby-Doo haunted house.
yeah.
It's
Well,
like Mystery
um,
it's like Mystery Skulls. Yeah. I'm going to try. I'm going to be trying to overtake him though, because I am under the impression that should eventually work. I mean, I fly faster than sound, and I don't know. I think thoughts are slower than sound. So
I'm gonna try and flank him through going through another part of the house.
all right. So what I'm getting is you guys are splitting up. Are we splitting up anywhere beyond that? And if not, who's going with who?
We can't. We
I
can't
mean, I can't keep up with Starfire.
yeah, so I think Edwina and I are probably one party.
Okay. I mean, that's another reason you can't go full speed is because Edwina's neck will snap off.
Oh right, I would. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think anybody knows where I am. I'm invisible and dead silent.
Okay. Sure.
So what's everyone else doing?
I don't know where I am. That's the other problem.
Yeah, that's the very
Is
apparent
it just
issue.
a straight hallway that we're running into?
It is, but it quickly like he like goes like takes a left through a door, and like you guys are now. It very quickly becomes a mix of like you follow him down hallways and then through doorways, and then you wind up in like the same hallway, and it gets very weird.
I'm just opening door like after door. Like
Okay.
I realized I'm not gonna keep up with everybody, so I'm just like opening doors, trying to like see like where they go and if I could find like a shortcut.
Yeah. So
Crap.
as you guys, so whether pretty much whether you guys split up or not, you kind of all end up like going in a similar route.
We all end up back in the same room, don't we?
Yeah, after a long enough time, you will. But before that, there's a scene where you guys. Let me see. I need to roll a few things.
So real fast, as all this is happening, I
Yeah.
kind of feel like Robin would go to say something like, "Don't follow him; it's not going to happen," and then they just sprint off.
Yes,
And Robin's
pretty
just
much.
kind of like left in the room by himself, and
Robin's
then
like,
like,
guys, stick together. We need a plan.
Uh,
And we're just like,
okay.
"Yes!"
Raven is floating next to Robin.
Hold on.
it's like,
Okay.
did you think it was a good idea to run into the dark hallway?
Hold on. I become visible again. We're all thinking about this the wrong way. We're not going to be able to find him. We have to make him want to find us. Let's just start stealing shit.
I mean, I feel like
I want to
he's.
see what he has.
Correct. Did I roll that right?
I feel like there might be some, you
Yeah.
know, things to help us out just in this room.
I suppose we can try that before we go resort to theft.
I would like to investigate.
I mean, he could just stop us. He made me open the door.
Well,
So.
yeah, but that would at least give us a clue as to where he is.
So now you guys did do some pursuing, and you're like, you kind of like. So you already kind of stated you were chasing, right?
Yeah.
Cyborg.
Well, yeah. If there are opportunities to like flank and maybe try to circle around and hit him from the other side, I will.
Yeah.
But
Well,
obviously they probably all lead back to the same place. So
yeah.
I think Joe
but,
is trying to establish a timeline, and some people.
Yeah, I'm trying to establish a timeline, and like if Robin and Raven are saying that they just wouldn't like run in blindly, that's fine.
Mhm.
But for the rest of you guys, you kind of made statements about like, oh yeah, we're gonna run in.
Yeah, we already
first.
decided.
So,
yeah, pretty much.
Starfire,
So-
Cyborg, and me already decided we're running off
Okay.
and chasing him.
So I then want to I stop for a moment to make rolls because I need to do that. So okay, more of that.
Does anybody have the alarm spell?
You do.
I'm not prepared, unfortunately.
Okay. So then I think it would be just you.
Watch me just climb onto the
7.
ceiling and wait for an hour.
What are you rolling?
I'm rolling stuff
143?
because you can do that and roll
I
20.
know, I
You can roll
know.
impossible dice. Okay, whatever this thing is. All right, so you guys. So there's a point where those of you who are chasing, you're chasing him, and there's this one point where you exit, and it's that scene, like that very Scooby-Doo-esque scene, where you guys are chasing him through a like a hallway, you know. So yeah, you guys are chasing him through this hallway, and you like chase him across the hallway, and then he exits. As you he like will exit the hallway, and you guys will be different sizes. Like you'll be really tiny or really big. Like you'll crawl through the hallway like it's small, and then you'll be tiny, and you'll have to like pull the door open with more effort. And then like the order of like who's chasing who mixes up. Like at one point he's chasing you across the hallway, and then you guys stop and turn around and chase him. And then at certain points, certain creatures like start being involved in the chase. The first of which is this little. Well, no, actually, it's large. It just looks little from the picture. This little floating white ball with like tentacles all over it, and this like red eye that's like floating around. And you're chasing it instead of John suddenly, and then it turns around and goes and like hisses at you.
Yeah.
And then you guys like go and you like run, like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
you like run away. And then things start getting involved, like more creatures start getting involved, like with the chase, to where there's suddenly also, just for listener reference, the thing that just got involved is a death kiss, which is a type of like mini beholder.
Oh no.
And then like at one point this guy with like a creepy staff and like an octopus face starts chasing you around. That's an Ulatharid, which is like a type of mind flayer. And then this thing, which doesn't have a picture, or I need to know what it looks like.
I don't like this, Robin. I don't like it at all. Starfire just blast everything.
Oh, this thing that looks like
After the Dionysiac mayhem of a Scooby-Doo chase scene, I don't have any power here.
Some
no
Cybermen.
power
Oh,
here.
holy shit! No, that's like, holy crap, that's like a demon lord. There's this. I was like, who is this guy? Fraz Herblu. And he is like straight up a demon lord.
Trigon the Triple just like peeks
so-
out of a door and like closes it.
Like, so you guys are running around, and you know that scene in Mad Mod where like they open a door and then like a big T-Rex head comes out?
Yeah.
In this case, it's like this, like, kind of like this guy with like kind of like aquatic fin type ears and like big wings, and like he's super scary. He like pokes his head through a door and roars, and you guys are like, ah! And that's what probably like chases you out of the Scooby-Doo sequence. Is that there's literally like a 300 hit point demon lord just sticking his head through the door.
Edwina, can you see that too, or are we having the bad trip?
She is just like she's like her lips trembling, like she's trying not to burst out crying, and she's like, yeah, I see it. Please run.
Yeah, I speed up.
So you guys eventually you make it back to the room, and Robin and Raven, you have just been waiting in the room. Is there anything you wanted to do in the main foyer while they were off running around, or do you just want to meet up with them again?
I wanted to. So he was in here already. I'd like to kind of like look around for, well, any kind of like runes, any kind of like things that like kind of explain how he keeps getting away from us. If there's anything in this room, also if there's any like arcane books.
Okay. Yeah, I think I might have said there's like some bookshelves by the sitting area. Basically, there's like fireplace and like a couple chairs. And there was a chair that he was sitting in when he was facing the fireplace, and then he stood up and turned around to you guys. There's some books there, but it's like when you look through the books, it's like, well, what languages do you speak?
Oh gosh. Common. I don't think I speak that many languages. German.
Okay. Yeah. Not a lot of luck. But
I'm gonna hand them to Raven. See if she knows anything about this.
Raven can speak. Now she can speak Infernal because she's a tiefling, but also there's a lot of languages that like Raven can speak. Like
Sanskrit.
Yeah, I think that's one. Do you have that page up?
I forget what she just mentions it in the Trouble in Tokyo movie.
Yeah. She can. So Raven can speak English, German, Latin, Romanian, Ancient Sumerian, and Sanskrit. So there actually are a fair number of things between all those and like Infernal. There are a fair number of things that you do understand, and there's a lot of stuff with like magic writing in it. But there seems to be some confusion spell on it, so that like the owner, someone who isn't the owner of the house, like can't really make sense of the books without the host's permission.
I tell Robin that, basically.
Who's the
I
sirens
mean,
going off?
There's some sirens.
stupid
through somewhere.
sirens now. That's on my end.
Okay.
Cool
Of
background
course.
sound effect.
And I mean, I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah. No, it's fine. No, like honestly, I mean, hey, you guys, yeah, it's the sounds of London.
It's the sounds of London.
During a bomb raid.
Raven, what are we even doing here? Like, we haven't really even, like, I don't know what we're even looking for, even though we can't read this stuff.
I mean, Starfire and I were just looking for John Constantine.
Yeah, but
I don't really know anything about him, except that I saw him when we were high.
You heard his name while you were high. You saw a weird green guy with green underpants.
Hold
Yes.
up. Wait. So, and I pull out a joint
You're
and
not-
say,
You're
you
not
think if we smoke this again, we'll see Constantine again?
I hear Cyborg's voice from nowhere.
You guys, okay, fine. If you're gonna keep butting into the scene, then you guys can
we're
all
not
be
here.
back
I'm
now.
sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry.
But no, forget it. Fine, you're back. Everybody's back in the same room. Okay.
Cyborg just walks in and starts talking, and we're like, ah!
Can I still
Yeah.
be chasing him just to make things confusing?
Oh my god.
Just because.
I walk in, I'm a hippo.
Yeah.
No, I'll come back.
Was that a train? Was
Listen,
that a train?
Listen, it's London, okay?
A train flies between two like adjacent hallways and then disappears. Like an old steam engine.
Yeah, they're calmly having a conversation. Like, I finally fly over and I just like stop and I'm like catching my breath and I'm like panting.
Yeah. You could have like, spatially you couldn't have moved that far, but you feel like you've been chasing you've been chasing a ship and warp down. Like, it's pretty weird.
So how'd that go, guys?
John Constantine is bending space.
I just sit down as a hippo and just look exhausted.
Well, how can we straighten it out again?
Well, I feel like the first thing we need to straighten out is what we are even doing here. Like, even if we catch him, what are we going to ask him?
We just tell him that we met God and God said to find him. Or God didn't say to find him, but, we thought it was a good idea.
Raven and I heard his name in a vision, and I thought it would be fun to take Edwina on a road trip to find the strange man in our vision. This was not supposed to be like this.
I turn back into Beast Boy and I'm like, is this guy Doctor Who?
What Starfire said.
And with that, he goes, you hear his voice, I am most certainly not that bugger. And you guys turn around and he's leaning against he's leaning against like the doorway of one of the hallways.
Wait.
And he's standing there and he's like, all right, I thought he straightens up and starts walking towards you. He's like, all right, I thought you blokes were some demons in disguise out from my head. But if that were the case, you would have done a lot better at circumventing my magical defenses.
Thank you.
That's not a good... Never mind. I'm sorry for the confusion. We're the Teen Titans.
Are you God?
Who? Is that a boy band?
Yes.
So, apparently, God told... Do you guys hear the vacuum cleaner now?
Yes, I do. John's just like, oh, excuse me, I haven't cleaned up.
He has like cleaning supplies floating around like Merlin in the
Yeah,
the
just like
stove.
All of a sudden,
I would like to point out that this entire time I've not only been searching for my D&D notes, but also I spilled a glass of wine. So there's just like chaos everywhere.
It's just chaos is everywhere right now.
Mercury's in
John
retrograde.
We all need a break to go buy more wine.
John Constantine
that's
just
funny.
curses everything.
He does. I still
Oh
haven't
my
found my
God.
notebook. I don't know where it is. So don't ask me to check my stats, okay?
Okay.
No, you kind of need that.
Sure.
I'm looking.
You might need that. If you need help though, we'll help you out.
Okay, I'll try to remember all
Um,
my things. You know how good I am at that.
yeah.
No?
But anyway.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, he says Teen Titans. What is that? A boy band?
I make a band pose.
It's a band of heroes.
I point at Starfire. Does that look like a boy to you?
That's it.
He's like, hey, I don't
Points
judge
at
that
the
way.
boobs.
Stop pointing
He's
at
like,
red
listen,
facts.
when you've seen as many fiends and devils and angels as I have, all mixing and matching every which way, and hey, I don't discriminate, you know, I bet all of them. I don't think about that kind of thing that way.
All right, so here's the deal. Apparently, Raven saw you in some kind of vision. And I guess in her magical world, you know, that's important. So that's why we're here. You guys get to talking or something.
Vision?
I didn't
Tell me about this
see
vision.
him. I heard his name, and so did Starfire. And I point at Starfire. I don't want to be a part of this.
Had you ever heard his name before that, Star Raven?
No. Wait.
Whoa.
He's like, hey,
Probably
he's like,
right?
he goes, hey, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of women of all different realms dreaming about me, but you two are a little young.
What do we remember? Sorry, what do we remember about our vision? Because I remember it was selected.
You guys pretty much, you had a bad, anxiety-filled experience. You remember the name John Constantine. You remember a little bit of the image of this big, tall, gray-skinned guy with a green cloak and green underpants and, like, green shoes.
We were perhaps sent here by a large green underpants man with gray skin. Does that help? I don't think that should help.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, I know that bloke. You guys got involved with the Spectre? Huh. Wouldn't expect it out of people, you know, well, hope you don't mind me saying, but you don't seem like the kind that would get in trouble with someone of his caliber.
We were simply ingesting delicious drugs.
I just saw the Monopoly Man.
You were doing drugs. Okay, I mean, hey, I can't blame you. When I was your age, I was in a band.
No.
I was doing a lot of drugs.
You don't understand, sir. We had to chill out some sea people really hard, so we made our own drugs out of sea stuff and got them stoned, and then they didn't attack the other sea people.
We called it seaweed.
We needed it after the week we'd been having.
And I have one question for you. Do you want some?
He's like, he kind of stands there for a moment and says, maybe later. He says, first of all, I want to know, so you were looking for me to tell you who the Spectre is. I can do that, but like, why were you casting spells on me and stuff? I could have killed you.
Because you were running.
Anything that
Well,
runs is bad.
Hey, okay, well, you know, you sound like a copper right now, so I don't like that. first of all. Second, my magical defenses sort of respond automatically when they think I'm in danger. And you lot, I don't know you. You were pursuing me, and so there you go.
My physical defenses do the same, and yet I have not punched you in the face.
He's like, you have physical defenses. I have magic defenses. Faster than thought, automatic.
I'm glad that when we get to this side quest, nobody knows why we're doing it. Nothing
I
happens.
I whisper over to Robin. I'm just like, do you think he knows anything about vampires?
All right, sir. Well, okay. Let's be straight here. We're good people. We're loosely connected to the Justice League. You can check our references if you want.
He spits.
I said loosely, loosely. But you know, we saw a vision of you, and you know, you magic people think that kind of thing is important. So you know, can we like sit down and have a nice little chat about, I don't know, demons or God or magic or whatever crap prophecies go on, you know?
Fine, sit down, and then chairs appear, and you all sit down.
When did I sit down?
You all sit down.
No, I asked that out loud. What just happened?
Oh, okay. He's like, look, I still don't completely trust you lot yet, so I'll hear you out. Then maybe I'll release you from my house's bond over your eternal souls.
Then Loki falls from the ceiling and he says, I've been falling for hours.
I don't. Oh, great.
So he sits you guys down. He summons like a mini fridge and opens it. And he's like, pretty much got beer and
look.
I got tea.
Hey, look. This is Europe, and I'm 18.
Alright. He doesn't really care. Like, he starts putting beer out on the table in front of everyone.
I shrug and I take one.
I also take one.
He's like the cool adult that lets you drink.
I point at him and
with
say,
a mischievous smirk, I just pop it open. I'm just like.
How does everybody respond to the first taste of beer?
Yeah, I want to know that. I feel like Beast Boy would be like, yeah.
Yes, Beast Boy is like, this is why do you drink this? It's gross.
That's amazing. It tastes like horse piss.
Yes, it tastes like horse piss.
Starfire
Don't
pounds.
ask how I know how that tastes.
Starfire pounds the table and says, "This tastes exactly like Garnarzian pour cream. That is a good thing. It is considered a delicacy."
Raven has like that anime where she takes a drink and has that anime switch over to her brain, like wigging out, but on the outside she's totally normal and unresponsive.
yeah.
And she just goes,
Yeah.
"It's all right."
Nice. When you make that comment, Starfire, he just sort of nods and goes, "Yeah, I kind of like the flavor of that stuff a little better, though."
It is certainly creamier.
Yeah. He goes, so you guys are like a superhero band. Haven't heard of you. You're young.
I think we would be if we played music.
We're from Jump City.
I mean, we're called the Teen Titans. Of course we're young.
Yeah.
He just sort of nods. All right.
We're too cools for school.
Uh-huh. Well, so you saw the specter in a drug-induced hallucination. That must have been some pretty powerful stuff for that. I mean, did you guys have any other experiences? The specter is just, well, he's a guy that gets involved an entity that gets involved when people like me do things that are a little too above our pay grade.
Joey, do I remember seeing the Monopoly guy?
Mm.
Or
Yeah, you guys remember the Monopoly guy.
Okay, do we all remember it?
Well, we didn't. Raven and I didn't see the Monopoly guy. You
Okay.
Yeah, it just the two of you who did Beast Boy and Cyborg. When you had the experience, you had like this really positive, enlightening experience, and you remember the vision of this like Monopoly looking man.
He says, "Well, on the same night, I had a vision of some Monopoly guy, and he was talking to me about. All I remember is we saw the beginning of the universe, and I tried to absorb its power.
You don't remember that.
I
You don't remember that.
Oh,
you don't
okay.
remember that.
I
You
thought
don't
I
remember specifics. You only remember what I tell you. You remember.
Okay, I thought you said I didn't remember. Okay.
No.
So, okay.
Yeah. Well, he just kind of shrugs, goes, maybe you guys played Monopoly?
he had like a top hat or a bowler hat or like a this guy in a hat and like
That Monopoly bloke has a top hat.
Yeah, and he has this big mustache thing.
it was he like looked similar but like different and like
I do think he was a capitalist, though.
He just kind of yeah.
It was like a round hat, wasn't it?
Yeah, like a
Like-
bowler cap.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, he's like, tell me about this drug.
I start going into incredibly technical details of the chemical formula.
The
All right,
formula that is manufactured.
his eyes sort of glaze over when you're getting into like the technical stuff, except for when you mention like some of the weird like things that you use, like some of the weird like glowing sea kelp or like a glowing sea snail that you involved in it that you don't even really know like what that was. And he goes, I think you mixed some Atlantean magics in there when you made that drug. That explains the astral transcendence involved.
Sometimes you just have to use what you can find.
Well, I don't know why you lot went through so much trouble to find me just for that. I mean, my only advice really is don't get involved with the Spectre again. He is a stick in the mud and won't let you have any fun. And his eyes kind of drift over to well, hold on.
Okay.
His eyes kind of drift over to Raven, and he kind of looks at Raven for a second, and then he's like, hold on. He stands up and walks over to you, and he like leans in like kind of uncomfortably close, like his face to your face. And he starts like waving some sigils around, and these sigils start to form, and they're casting like this sort of identify adjacent spell on the gem on your forehead. And then he just suddenly like I mean, like, do you say anything while he's doing that?
I blink unresponsively.
Just imagine all of us Teen Titans just like sitting there with like drawn like stupid cartoons with like our eyes crossed and like our tongue sticking out while he's like looking like asking us questions.
Yeah. He suddenly stands up straight, like very quickly, and almost like he's like, okay, that's big.
What's
That's what she said.
Hey. He's like, he goes, he kind of looks at you suddenly. He goes, okay, I think I'm starting to understand who you are now.
What do you mean?
he goes, hold that thought. He starts drawing. He gets a piece of chalk out of his coat, and he starts drawing a circle with some sigils on the floor. And he's drawn this circle when he finishes. And he says, all right, everybody get in. And you guys all stand up and get in the circle.
We just do.
He's like,
What the-
yeah, you just
Power
do.
relative.
Not fair.
He's like, he goes, sorry, but I gotta go see it's like, we gotta go see a friend. He's sort of an expert. And he snaps his fingers and the teleportation circle activates. And you all reappear in another place.
Hey, everybody. Where could Constantine be taking the team? I don't know. We'll have to find out. I just wanted to interject here, just to give some accreditation. So, it doesn't come up quite as much as I expected it could. But I did actually stat out John Constantine as a player character. I gave him some free stuff, that he should have, that he can just do whenever he wants. Stuff like Time Stop or the Disintegrate spell, that I thought was appropriate for his character, given his power set. However, for the most part, he's actually a very legitimate level 20 player build. So I wanted to go through a few of the things that I went with. So he is a legitimate character. However, I wasn't really satisfied with the existing options for him. I thought a lot about what class he should be. Now, probably the most obvious choice given the range of spell options is Wizard, right? But looking at the flavor of John, there are other ideas. In universe, he's referred to as a warlock. Now, in this case, a warlock is a person born with the natural aptitude to learn the occult and magic. So in D&D terms, that's more like a sorcerer. And that makes sense, given their meta magic. But frankly, sorcerers, they need a lot of work to be interesting. They're kind of mechanically light. So I thought, well, what about an actual warlock in 5th edition? You might be thinking, well, they don't get nearly enough spells. But their recharge on short rests is quite good. And then with their special higher level spells they get at high levels, it's decent. I found a homebrew warlock patron option called the Arcanist. It was made by user Rain Junkie on Reddit. I'll try to link that in the episode. It's a pretty good build. The basic design philosophy revolves around basically allowing you to get a bunch of, you get natural wizard spells. Things like at first level, stuff like Magic Missile, or Bigby's Hand eventually at 5th. But it also gives you a whole bunch of wizard cantrips. I doubled that up with the warlock feature that also gives you some more cantrips from a spell list of your choice, and so John just has a ridiculous number of cantrips at his disposal. And the other thing the Arcanist does is it's really like a cantrip heavy build. It allows you to cast your special cantrips that you gain from its Arcane Aptitude feature. And cast more than you usually would be able to. So if you cast a cantrip that costs an action, if you cast another cantrip from the special list, then you can cast another cantrip that costs a full action. And I thought that well represented John's unique specialty and proficiency with magic. He's the kind of caster who isn't the most powerful magically all the time, but can do a lot of little things to great effect. I also did stuff like give him the Book of Ancient Secrets Eldritch Invocation. And given his vast lifespan and experience, basically make it to where he has every ritual spell in 5th edition in that book. So give him some time and he can do pretty much anything a wizard or another spell caster could. Not all this came up, but I wanted to have it really put together in case the players did decide to straight up get into initiative with John. Now that's not all. I mean, he had a lot of contingencies and things that would have made it nearly impossible for him to be defeated. Basically, Batman with secret kryptonite situation. But yeah, I hope you check out Rain Junkie's other work, and I will link that in the description. Now, back to the show.
He takes us on the magic school bus through the demon realm.
He goes, when you guys appear, he said, he goes, like, you're no longer, he goes, oh, sorry, should have released that before. And he says, you're not under my control anymore.
Whew.
Hey. Wait.
And he said, and you hear this other voice. You guys are now in this building. It looks like a big, like, library, and, like, study. Like, this kind of older British accent. Who goes there? And this man steps out.
Is it Mad Mod?
No, it's not Mad Mod.
Do all British
Unfortunately, it's not. This man, a human man with brown hair, and he has this, like, one shock of, like, gray or, like, white hair, like, in his hair, and he says, "Oh, John, it's been a while. You brought friends? That's certainly..." And he looks and he sees Raven and immediately goes, "No, John, no, absolutely not." And John starts walking forward. He's like, "Jason, come on, listen, we can help them out." And he just starts, like, kind of almost chasing Jason around the room. Jason is like, "No, absolutely not." He starts gathering up, like, books and scrolls and things, and he's like, "Listen, you," and he's like, and John's like, "Listen, Jason, you owe me." And this is kind of the thing that's going on. Feel free to react in whatever way.
What the
I'm just
heck is going on?
What does the room
Unresponsibly.
look like? Like, where did we enter, or where did we teleport to?
You guys look down. There's, like, another like circle, like teleportation circle on the ground where you appeared. And you're in this building. It looks like another type of like manor and big manor, and it's a very like big library type vibe going on.
Starfire's just standing there, sipping her beer and watching like King of the Hill.
And then Jason goes, and then Jason goes, "Did you give them beer?"
I with zero expression chugged the rest of my beer and then set it down on the nearest table.
I pretend to chug it, but I just like pour it behind me.
On the floor.
It just gets all over the floor. Okay. So yeah. So after a while of arguing, they're like for a while, like they kind of go to a corner and they like are talking very emphatically. Although if anyone wants to observe them, I mean, Robin, you have lip reading.
Wait, I can lip read. I'm gonna listen in.
I want to turn into a spider and crawl up the wall and see if I can get closer to hear what they're saying.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check, Beast Boy. 15. Oh no, he'll notice you. Okay. So you start to sneak along like the bookshelf, like to get closer to them, and then John like turns and looks and he spots you. And he's like, "Hey, the adults having a conversation."
I just scurry around in circles and then scurry away.
All right. So with the lip reading from Robin, so you pick up a few words, and so what you kind of pick up are like phrases like John saying things like, "Come on, it's for everyone's good. We either help her or we'll have to deal with the problem later." And then Jason, the man whose name is apparently Jason, being like, he's like, "But I don't know if we even can help her." And things like that. And then they talk about like different methods, like arcane methods, but they talk like you don't understand it because you don't understand like arcane theory. But they're basically like debating, and like over the course of it, like John convinces Jason just enough that whatever it is worth a try. And then they turn around and they start walking back over to you guys. So Jason walks over and he walks over and he's much calmer now, and he speaks with a very delicate tone. He says, "I'm sorry. I was very rude. My name is Jason Blood. I am I'm the closest thing this poor bastard has to a friend." And he turns and looks at Raven. He says, "And I know of you and some of your burdens. And I would be glad to offer my aid if you will take it."
I kind of look at everyone else for a second because
we have no clue what he's talking about.
This is exactly.
not even like as a like give me advice, but as kind of like a just like how people do when they're not sure about something, they kind of look to their friends. And I look back and I just kind of give a small nod.
Shrug.
Yeah, I nod back.
He kind of starts like opening certain books on his table and unfurling certain scrolls, and he says, "So, that gem is very sophisticated containment, but well, as I'm sure you know, it will fail eventually. I and John can reinforce that if you would like. So when the time comes, could buy you a little more time, but we can't hold back what it contains.
So
I-
Constantine can prevent season 4?
he can extend the timetable a little bit.
Raven just nods again because she kind of knows her friends don't know what the fuck's going on, and she's being really quiet about it,
Right.
Hey, does this have something to do with that weird red version of you?
I don't answer. I imagine Raven's still gonna be kind of like hesitant to be loud about it, basically.
Right. And like in this case, like to whatever degree John and Jason can pick up on that, they're sort of like they understand that you probably have reasons for keeping whatever a secret, but right now they're too advanced magic practitioners and adults who are like, listen, you got to deal with some stuff, and like you can deal with the drama with your friends on your own time.
There's a reason she drank an entire beer. She's like, oh shit, they're talking about the gem.
Yeah.
Since I can read lips and definitely don't understand all this, Robin's just gonna go over and kind of put a hand on her shoulder and kind of squeeze a little bit and then just back off again.
That does seem to help. She kind of relaxes a little.
Like, are you all staying present while they discuss aspects of arcane enhancement with Raven, or are you kind of like standing off a little bit? Like, what's the scenario in the room?
I think
in your guys' mind.
I think I'm just kind of staring and watching, and I'm not really understanding any of the magic talk that my head is just kind of trying to follow it, and it's just like very confusing. But I'm concerned about Raven, and I'm like, I don't know what this means, so I'm just kind of watching.
I feel like definitely the same way, and just because since she's my friend, I kind of like don't 100% trust them, but I feel like they know what they're talking about, so I want to try and understand as much as I can of what they're saying, just in case there's a hint of anything nefarious going on.
With everything that they're talking about, do I get the impression that they know what they're talking about?
They definitely do. Okay. And in any other case, like binding like lesser gods or angels or demons, like what they're talking about is really impressive. But it's only like a stopgap, temporary one for what's coming in your case.
Gotcha.
But it's stuff that's like you could never like at this point you couldn't do on your own. Like you couldn't, like they're talking they're at one point they just start like having a little bit of an argument about like arcane sigilry, and like it's very advanced. Like it's like when people who are like very very much more educated in the subject are talking about something and you can kind of follow it and you're just kind of like impressed to be present.
So generally I would probably trust them with whatever they're trying to do. It sounds
it's like physicists discussing like black hole theory or something.
Yeah, it's like that.
Quantum
definitely
theory.
Yeah.
Tell me about primer.
you trust their technical prowess. Now of course you've just met them, so what you don't know what exactly their motives might be for helping you or not.
Right.
I think that I'm sitting there and I've got a beer in each hand. And...
Wait, how did you get two?
And I'm
wait a second.
and I'm sort of checking in with Edwina because to see if like she actually knows any more about like who this guy is and stuff like that, because she has a Justice League tie.
Nah, this. He goes, no, I'm not British for this character. Sorry. No, I mean, this Constantine guy. Today is the first time I heard of him, and I don't know this other guy. This Blood guy, Jason Blood. Yeah.
I just don't know if my friend Raven will be safe.
She kind of looks at you and goes, "Are any of us really safe?"
I I look really blown away by that, and then take like a sip from each beer.
You're just like, how can someone have that outlook? Yeah. So yeah, is there anything you guys want to do while you're in here? I know kind of it's sort of like I don't know, like I can just fast forward if you want.
I mean, it seems to be Raven's thing right now.
Yeah,
Me.
I don't think there's a lot we can do here unless we want to
unless
like
there's any character discussion we want to just sit there having like
Yeah.
on the side. But I don't know.
ransack this dude's house or anything.
So
but I
what
don't know.
traumatizing thing did you see?
So, Starfire, you say that tastes like something from your home planet. Does the home planet stuff also give you certain mental changes?
Cyborg's like, how can I get some of that back alley alien beer?
No, the poor cream doesn't cause any changes in mentality, and neither does this juice. And I continue to drink it with my absurd constitution.
Yeah.
I stick out my tongue like. Bleh.
Does Starfire need to roll Constitution?
I've just been
Probably
going in
not.
assuming that I wouldn't even have to. But like,
What
I mean,
is your Constitution?
for a few beers, no. But like for like if you were drinking in like competitive party night Tamaranian amounts, then maybe.
I'm going to assume Tamaranian alcohol would probably be like, okay, if you'll let me
Yeah, way
establish this headcanon, I feel like Tamaranian alcohol is much stronger, and that normal Tamaranian drinks often contain amounts of alcohol that would be strong to a human.
Right, yeah, probably.
Like this is not a drink to me. This is juice.
Yeah.
You can go to Tanzania. Sounds like the place to party.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think we can fast forward because Raven's
Okay, yeah,
kind of, you know,
over there,
quietly waiting, probably nervous.
Yeah, I assume that you guys will probably talk later about like, hey Raven, what's up with all this?
Yeah, this is not the time.
Like, I was just kind of like wondering if you guys wanted to initiate any of that now or not.
Well,
And
I think
if not, that's totally fine.
I don't know about other people's approaches, but I feel like we do have a slight precedent of like, to some degree, we're all superheroes that almost like requires we have some degree of like don't ask, don't tell, like as far as like backstory.
Right.
You know, it's just like, well,
Yeah.
you definitely like experienced some shit, and like we all did, because why else would we be here? You know?
Yeah.
We just wait for people
Fair
to
enough.
sort of reveal things a lot of the time.
Every
Okay.
D&D character ever.
Yeah. At a certain point, the two men decide that they seem satisfied with what they've come up with, and they kind of are like, and John is like, all right, yeah, I think this will work for you. And he's like, so you'll see here, first scroll, you want to establish, and then he is suddenly cut off as you guys see this like thin line appear, like this of bright white, like in the middle of space in the room, and then like start opening, and there's like this shaking in the ground, and like the the air starts to feel like it's ionized, and like there's like this electrical discharge coming off from the line, and it starts to split open this tear in reality, and the two men look up. Jason's like, what? That should be impossible, my wards. And Constantine goes, bollocks, I think I know what this might be. And the portal opens to full length, and you guys see as this huge, and this large person steps out of the portal. They are big, like maybe 15 feet tall, and they have these huge bird-like white wings. And when they step through and you see the full visage of them, and they're holding this super big sword. And when you guys see this, it's like this person's like one of the most beautiful people you've ever seen. It's this man, this big tall man with wings.
More beautiful than Aqualad?
More beautiful than Aqualad, but in like an extremely intimidating way. And as soon as you see the expression on his face, he just wears this like extremely angry scowl. And it's like suddenly all that beauty like turns into like the most like intimidating presence that you've ever been around. And this person just radiates power. Like it's like standing next to like right next to like some sort of powerful reactor. Like he just gives off waves of just don't fuck with me. And he goes, Constantine, I'm here for you. And and John is like, bloody hell. Hey, he kind of walks up. Gabriel, listen, hey, this is really not a good time. And he's like, not a good time. He's like, I finally found a way around from my shackles. You will pay. And Jason is just like has his head in his hands, and he's like, he walks forward and he looks to you guys, and Jason Blood's like, well, so John, you want to tell your new friends that you brought to my house that who this is? You know, Archangel Gabriel, you know, yeah, the one from the Bible, the one that you also tricked into sleeping with a demon, getting him cast out of heaven, and you brought that onto my lawn. And John's like, listen, listen, blokes, it's not all that. I'm sure we can come to a peaceful resolution. So, how are you guys responding to this?
It's what? Okay.
What's the Bible?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but I feel like I don't want to. Hey, Mr. Angel, you seem nice. We'll be over here. Just do your thing.
Yeah, I don't know. What?
We're kind of in the middle of something here.
Oh my god. he suddenly he looks to you with like this like kind of shocked and incredulous expression on his face. He's like, what did you just say to me?
You little...
They're trying to help our friend right now. If you have something to deal with, Constantine. Can you please wait for a little bit longer? If you were shackled, you probably have a lot of time left.
He just looks flabbergasted.
These
Like he's like
hands over his mouth and just like starts cowering.
he's just like, I don't sense any magic from you. I don't even sense one of those meta genes that you Earthlings are so proud of manifesting. You're not a strong alien. You have no supernatural powers. Do not speak down to me. And he lifts up his hand, and suddenly, like, this fissure forms in the ground, and these two creatures crawl out of, like, this, like, orange glowing fissure in the ground. They, one is, like, this white, spiny looking devil with, like, kind of red points at the end of its spine, and this, like, sick, nasty looking tail, barbed tail, and it holds like this hooked like pole arm. The other one, a big horned lobster humanoid looking thing. It has 4 arms, 2 of which are like big claws, and 2 of which below that are like semi-regular, and they both crawl out. The one with the horns all over, or the spikes all over it, is like chittering and making this horrible sound, and the other one is just like, and they both face off, and he says, "You two, destroy the insolent mortals.
What?
Constantine is mine." And I think that even though that might have been a little shorter, that is where we're going to end this episode.
Whoa there!
Hey guys, I may have messed up.
So
You know what? I
You know what?
think
Screw
we
this
showed
guy.
good sportsmanship, Robin.
you say
no,
this
screw
guy,
this
this
guy.
angel fell.
Gabriel,
Oh, this is the kind of off book I'm looking for.
Gabriel, you're insane.
Listen, he fell. He just summoned demons in front of us. Let's knock him out, knock him down the size.
Never mind.
What?
I was about to give a spoiler for the movie Constantine, which showed.
Does that happen? Does it happen? Is he present in that?
Gabriel's in it, yeah.
Yeah, Gabriel.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I'm just reading the Wikipedias and like the comics.
Except
Like
Gabriel's the woman.
Yeah, it's definitely
Oh.
a more feminine or genderless like depiction.
Yeah, definitely.
He is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, angelic stuff.
my
They're
favorite
definitely
line of
beautiful
that
in an
movie
androgynous
is,
way.
Gabriel, you're insane.
He's very androgynous. It's incredibly androgynous.
Your mom's
It's
androgynous.
amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, just for reference for you guys,
I want to punch Gabriel in the face.
well, you know, good luck with that. He's literally a solar, which
Ooh.
if
I
you are
figured that's what he
familiar,
is, but you know what? Still,
Hey,
I'm
we have a
gonna-
Starfire.
Mhm.
We're busy here. Listen,
Yeah,
they're trying to help our friend.
So basically, there's going to be a battle on 2 fronts with you guys fighting these 2. One's a demon and one's a devil. So one is a Glabrezu and the other one is a
Spine devil.
spine devil.
Yep.
And
Good
you guys are
description,
going to
by the
be
way.
probably thank you. You guys are going to be occupied with them. You can get involved with the fight between Gabriel and John Constantine and Jason Blood, but I do not recommend it.
Listen, punching up is what we do, even though it's really stupid. That's kind of our thing.
Okay.
We're
Fair-
gonna die
fair enough.
here.
We'll-
We can kill him, guys.
We can do
Oh
it.
yeah, once we finish off this devil and this demon, we'll just do it really quickly, and then we'll all just like team up and like beat up Gabriel. No, I'm kidding.
Also,
Yeah.
contextually, as far as like Starfire is aware, I think she thinks that the Bible must be some kind of magician tabloid or something. Because we talked about the Bible and how this angel slept with a bunch of like angels and demons.
Yeah. Yep. But no, it's incredible because you read about stuff about John Constantine. And he's like, he literally pissed off Gabriel and like tricked him into sleeping with a demon, which got him cast out of heaven.
Jeez.
That's pretty fucked up, though.
Like a fucking archangel. Like,
I mean, I'd be mad
okay.
too.
Yeah.
Although, how do you trick an? I mean, you fuck with somebody as an angel. It's also a little bit your fault.
Yeah, I mean,
You're kind of
it is
in
John.
power there, no matter what.
But yeah, okay, yeah, this will be fun. I was like, okay, we're getting through things kind of fast. I thought some more things could happen, but I definitely I can't start this kind of combat.
Yeah.
We didn't Scooby Doo enough. We had to Scooby Doo a little more.
Yeah.
Robin and I were having it.
We were like, we just ran around the block 5-10 times.
Yeah.
We're not
Like
doing
the
it in the
back turns
house.
corners. I don't know.